Hey guys, welcome to the Hype Mind. Question we have is, do you feel like your parents are controlling?
So something I've seen a lot of, Daniel's seen a lot of is you frequently run into these scenarios where you find that your parents are stepping into your life too much. You feel controlled, or you feel like they're obsessing, or like they're not giving you any space, or they're still trying to control your life. And we're specifically talking about for people who have hit that 18-year-old mark, and they're, or beyond, and they're they moved off to college, they moved off to a job, whatever. Maybe they're still living at home, maybe they're still living outside the house now, but you know, their parents are checking in every other day. You okay, honey? You know, are you sure that's a good job for you? Blah blah blah. So, and we're excited to talk about this because Danny and I, we have this in common too. Um, I know that when I turned 18, even before I turned 18, I was super ready to get out of the house. Um, I wanted some space. I wanted to go see the world. But Daniel, I would like actually for you to start by sharing your story, because you kind of took a twist after you left that golf course job. You
Right.
think you scared your parents there.
That's true. I went on my own adventure, let's say that. And I just decided to leave and kind of, see this whole world we're living in and figure it out for myself. But
What'd you end up doing?
I ended up actually, man, really? We're gonna share that? It's all right, we
No,
can do it.
I mean, what did you do when you left? What did that involve?
Would that involve, you mean travel wise?
Yeah, you hitchhiked,
Yeah, I
right?
did. I hitchhiked and I backpacked across the United States,
Phenomenal.
looking to kind of explore. I honestly, that one of the big reasons was I was like, okay, I'm not certain what I want to do right after high school. I don't know if I want to go to college. I don't know if I want to pursue this type of career. So it's like, you know what? I'm gonna go and see what's out there for me. So I'm like, hey, don't have a lot of money. I'm going to take, whatever I got and explore in an inexpensive way. And
Awesome.
that's what got me going. And of course, I feel like with any situation with your parents sending off to college with, you go and moving out right away, your parents may be controlling, right? And want to still protect their child or want to still have that relationship with their child, um but it's they're
That's
not used to it. It's a big change. It's like,
that's what we're gonna really get into here, guys. Is that is a big change for your parents, and so we're gonna talk about seeing it from their point of view too,
mhm,
because I
yeah,
can
for
say from
sure,
my own
seeing it from their point
experience,
of view.
yeah, it felt like even after I turned 18, and now it's been years since I left high school. Um, it feels like despite that, my parents still have this view of my limited capabilities. I love my family to death, love my parents to death. I have a great relationship with both of them. But despite that, it's like there were things that at 16, 17, my dad was like, like shooting a gun, for example. My dad would be overcautious about it. And I'd be like, Dad, I'm not a kid. Now I'm over 18, and I see it occurring the same way still. And I'm like, Dad, I'm really not a kid. um, and so this is the kind of stuff we're talking about, because there's a lot of people who still feel that way. They get out of the house, they're 18, 19, 20, 21, right? They're like, Dad, I can drink alcohol. Like, come on, I'm not, you don't have to monitor me anymore and
Hmm.
give me a curfew. Um, and so the interesting thing is, if you're religious and you're familiar with the 10 commandments, you know that the fourth commandment is honor your father and mother. And I think from my own point of view, up until 18, that means you obey them and you do as they say because they know better than you. But once you're 18, it's not so much obedience, not to downplay that, but it becomes more of a respect, because now you're both adults. You're both old enough and mature enough to make capable decisions on your own. So you respect what they tell you. You don't always have to be completely obedient. You respect them, but you make choices for yourself as an educated young person.
There needs to be respect from both sides, because same thing with the parents. It's like, yes, when they're, when they're growing up and they're younger than 18, you have to be the leaders in their life. You have to direct them in the right direction. And then
Yeah.
once they, once they turn 18 and they leave the home, it's like you need to respect their space and kind of trust that they're going to make the best informed decisions if they can. And it's more out of your control. And it's kind of like if you squeeze, you want to hold so tight, but and that's how from a parent's perspective, but if, you squeeze too hard, you're going to kill it.
So that's the thing is we've experienced that ourselves. We've seen that in a lot of other people. But so it starts with this, as you mature, you need to learn to set boundaries. And that includes with your parents, because even if you get along great with your parents and you love them, you need to know where your boundaries are. Hey, Dad, I don't live in your house anymore. Or maybe I do live in your house, but like I'm old enough to make my own decisions. Me coming home at 9 o'clock because I work till 9 or till 8:30, that's me doing what I think is best for me. And I need you to respect that, so the first thing is you have to stand up for yourself in a respectful way, like Daniel's talking about, from both parties. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to have boundaries and stand up for yourself. Mom, Dad, hey, I need you to give me some space. I know I'm coming home at 9 o'clock, but this is me living this is me making choices I'm allowed to make as an adult. I don't tell you guys how to live your life. Please, you're more than welcome to make recommendations, but don't tell me how to live mine, because I'm an adult now, right? So the first one is set those boundaries and enforce them. The next one would be put yourself in their shoes. Understand that, whether you're their daughter or their son, they just lost you, and that might take a big hit. That might be really upsetting for them. They've been preparing for 18 years to see you leave their house, and now you've left, and it hits them harder than they thought it would, and it comes faster than they expected it to. And so it takes a toll. They miss you. So they're, what isn't ours, we still try to control. And so you have to put yourself in their shoes and understand that there's a part of them that still wants you and still wants to not control you in a bad way, but they still want to feel like the act of controlling enables them it gives them a feeling of closeness with you. So they try to control you, and they don't do it to hurt you. They do it because they love you and because they want to be close with their child again, who they love. So just keep that in mind. Put yourself in their shoes. You just left the house and they just spent 18 years straight with you. Part of them's relieved and part of them isn't used to it.
Right. Something we need to address, though, is that if you're still, you turn 18, and if you're still living at home, technically it's kind of like, in a way, you still have to imagine that you're living at a guest's house, right? You're living at someone else's house. You treat them like, how you're going to treat the guest that's letting you stay at their house. You're going to respect whatever the curfews that you want for them until you're able to get your own place.
Yeah.
So it's a little understanding on even the 18-year-old as well. And think about the culture we have now. It's like, we say when you're 18 is when you're an adult. And that's, of course, that's only a number, right? That's only an age. In different cultures, you weren't actually an adult, right? You weren't actually a woman or a man until you proved that you were, right? And same thing is, you prove that you're a grown-up is when you move out and you're able to support yourself.
That's true.
So, like, for example, sometimes we're still going to college and our parents are paying for, maybe half of your college tuition, your whole college tuition.
Well, the big thing there is it shouldn't be a guilt trip. You shouldn't feel like you owe your parents something
Mhm.
because you live at their place
Yes,
or
absolutely,
because
yeah.
they pay for your
Mhm.
college. But you do have to understand that if that's the scenario for you, they're paying for your car, your college, your housing, you do have to respect them because that isn't your money. But maybe that's a sign that you need to go out on your own more and detach from that and say, you know what, Dad, Mom, I can do this on my own. I really appreciate the fact that you're willing to fund this adventure for me, but I this is just something I need to do, you know? Um,
Mhm.
because you do have to understand, while you aren't indebted to them for that, you do have to respect that. If you live under your father's house still, you have to respect your father's rules because ultimately it is his house.
Mhm.
But again, that
Just like
doesn't,
if it was a guest letting you stay at their house,
yeah,
you respect their rules, or they I mean,
or
they
they can
kick you
kick you
out.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
they reserve the right to kick you out. But I don't want to get off topic here because we're talking about experiencing that feeling of you want to live your life, you want to experience that new freedom, but you're finding it difficult because your parents are really putting themselves into your life. Maybe they're calling every day. This is a great point. I love something Corey Wayne talks about in his book, and he pertains this to relationships, but it pertains to every kind of relationship. He pertains it to romantic relationships. Um, you don't have to answer the phone. You don't have to answer a text, right? You are a busy person. Guy, girl, doesn't matter. You are living a busy life. So if someone calls you and you can't pick up the phone and you can't get back to them for a day or two, that's okay. That's all right. Doesn't mean you ignore them. Doesn't mean you deliberately don't get back to them for a week or two. That's just disrespectful. But if you're in the middle of your day and your mother calls after calling you 3 days in a row and you can't pick up, that's okay. You're not entitled to, you're not indebted to picking up. It's okay to let it ring and get back to her the next day. It's okay for your father to shoot you a text and not be able to respond to him until you get out of work. Corey Wayne talks about the fake it till you make it attitude too, is like if someone's blowing up your phone, even if you're not busy, you give off the vibe that you are busy. Now, that's not to say be dishonest. That's simply to say, you need to live your life. You need to take the space you need, and you can't always be answering people instantaneously when they message you, even if they expect that. It's okay. It's okay, even if you're relaxing, see the phone ring and say, look, I'm in my quiet time right now. Like, I will call back in an hour, or I will call back tomorrow, or I'm busy.
Mhm.
I'll call back tomorrow.
It definitely works both ways because I think it could be excessive in both ways where you're responding right away or either, you know, not responding in whatever 2, 3 days, 4 or 5 a week. Um,
I'm
but
just emphasizing that.
right. I think what's huge is it always usually comes back to communication, good communication, right?
Yeah,
And not
I'm really
communication that's
just
all over the place.
emphasizing that the thing is, if you feel like you're being suffocated by your parents because they call you every week or they call you every day or every couple days, it's okay to let the phone ring and to not feel bad, even if they're paying for your college. It's okay to be like, look, right now I feel overwhelmed. I need some space. I'm not going to pick up the phone. Right now I'm busy. I know my mom is paying for my college, but I'm busy. I can't pick up the phone. Like, it's okay for that. You call the next day and you say, hey, I was busy, mom. It was great to see your call. Let's talk. I got a minute now. So don't
Mhm.
don't don't hesitate to do that either. So put yourself in their shoes. Don't feel afraid to take the space you need. Set some boundaries, enforce them. What
Mhm.
else you got, Daniel?
I think that's huge that you said is set healthy boundaries with your
Yeah,
parents. Like you're an adult when you're 18, but it's it's about showing that you're adult and it's showing that you're an adult to your parents and able to
and
stand up for yourself
not
in
yeah, yeah,
a mature way, where it's handled with respectful communication.
and to act like it one, by telling your dad, "Hey, Dad, I'm an adult. I need you to stop, running up my freaking rear about this. Like, give me some space, please. That's you being an adult. That's a very responsible thing to tell someone. I love you, but give me space, please. I'm serious. I got this. That's okay. And the other thing is knowing yourself. You know yourself. Hey, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling suffocated. Need some space. Because most people, when they hit that age of 18 or 19, a lot of us just want to get out in the world and we want to live, and we don't want our parents living over us like they have for a number of years, telling us, hey honey, be home by this time. Hey honey, did you remember to buy groceries this week so you don't starve to death in your dorm room? Hey honey, don't forget about this. Hey, call your mom. You want to escape from that. You want to, like I said in the beginning, enjoy that sense of newfound freedom. And so it's okay to understand that that's what you're trying to experience. So don't let yourself limit that feeling from yourself. Understand that's what you're looking for, and let yourself be in that moment and figure out how you want to accomplish that.
Yeah, dude, for real. One more thing is that you don't want your relationship to be non-existent either. There might be, you're setting boundaries, right? You're pushing back a little bit and being like, hey, can you give me some space? And who knows, like, they might be like, our son, our daughter's disown us, and we're gonna, just give them all the space in the world. I mean, what's the adult thing to do is maintain that relationship.
Yeah.
With your parents.
Balance.
Absolutely, balance.
Yep. But the big message we're trying to send here, because, Dan, 100% on point. To take space doesn't mean to completely eliminate. There's a balance. But the big thing we're trying to push here is it's okay to feel like your parents are overwhelming you, but to feel like you need space, or you want space, or you want to enjoy that newfound sense of freedom. So really get real with yourself and understand what you're looking for. And then don't be afraid to set those boundaries in an adult way, in a mature way, and to enforce them, and to to know what your needs are, and to express them honestly, right? Communicate them. So
yeah, that's right.
That's our advice on feeling overwhelmed as a young adult stepping out of the home.
And this is a process too. Yeah, it will be the process, leaving the home. You'll learn what to do. You'll learn how to gain your own respect and set your own boundaries. But it's
absolutely,
it's going to be a process.